Captain's log, stardate, November 8th. Yeah, November 8th, 2024. This week has been exhausting because of the energy, dude. I am highly susceptible to the energies of others and things. Things being the moon. Yeah, over the years, I have grown aware of the power of the moon over my physical being. And I just lump it in with the fact that I am highly sensitive to energy. And, you know, the moon affects the tide on the planet, so why wouldn't it affect our bodies? Hello? Duh. So anyway, I don't see it as a woo-woo kind of thing, like, oh, she thinks she's affected by the moon. Well, you're affected by the sun too, aren't you? Yeah, hello, vitamin D. Okay, so anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Yes, journal. This is my journal. So, things to add to my journal. The first thing that pops in my mind is this. I had a dream about bears last night. Now, I love bears. Grizzly bears especially. They're my most bestest favorite. Because they're big and snuggly. And I love the color of their fur. The varied varied colors of their fur. And I like all bears, but grizzlies are my favorite. Pandas are hilarious and kind of ridiculous, and I love them for that. So anyway, yeah, I had a dream about bears, and just because I love bears, I don't dream about them all the time. Like, never. I really don't dream about them often at all. So I did dream about bears last night, and when I woke up this morning, I knew there was some significance to this dream. And there was another dream I was dreaming right before I woke up, and I was like, oh my gosh, is somebody going to quit work? Like somebody I work with? I had this feeling like somebody I work with is going to quit. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. We've had a few people leave recently, and I think maybe my brain is just like, who else is going to leave? These things do happen. Anyway, back to my dream. So in the dream, I was in the house I grew up in, and I went to the back door, and this small child was with me who, in the dream, I thought, oh, this is a little boy, and I had a feeling like it was either my son or my nephew or something. I don't know. But I went to the door to let him outside, and but then as I began to open the door, I noticed there was a bear cub laying on the deck playing with like the leg of a chair, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I saw another cub, and I thought immediately, where's the mama? Because, you know, oh my gosh, mama bear, she will take you apart. So I shut the door, and I told the child, wait, you can't go out. There are bears out there. And so we stood there watching, and I looked to the right of the deck, and the mama bear was there standing on her hind legs. But she wasn't upset at all. She came up on the deck, came to the door, still standing on her hind legs, or stood up again on her hind legs, I guess. She was at the door looking at me right in my eyes. And I said to her, do you need help or something? And I didn't hear her say anything, but I felt like her answer was water. And I was like, oh, so like, I was like, oh, okay, she needs water for her and her cubs. And then immediately my brain was like, huh, excuse me, mama bear and cubs, that's danger. No, we're not doing that. And then another thing flashed through my mind of, you don't want to get too involved with wild animals because you don't want them to become dependent or trust humans, because you're not the only you're not the only human they may interact with. You could endanger them by, which this was a one-off scenario. It's not like I was going to always provide water for her and her cubs or whatever. So anyway, like in reality, if that happened, I think I would have thought through it better, and I would have found a way to give her water. But in this dream, I hesitated, because I was like, ugh. But she was looking at me so intently, like she was really imploring me, like, water, we need water. And there was nothing aggressive about the bear's behavior. But I went on. I stayed inside my little house, the house I grew up in, and other things were playing out. Other people were there. Other things were going on. But always this child was with me wanting to go out. And I was trying to figure out how to make that happen, even though there were bears. So the last thing so there were a couple other times when I went to a door in the house and I was like, nope, bears there. It was the same bears. It wasn't other bears, but they had moved. And so anyway, the last scene was me and this child went to a garden area in the yard. We didn't see any bears, so we went out there and we got in this old truck that wasn't going to go anywhere. It was like, it was as if it was I can't explain it. It was part of the garden. It was painted really nice. It was really cute. Like it was a really old truck, like something from the 30s or whatever. But it was set up as an ornament in the garden with seating inside that you could just chill and enjoy the garden. Okay, so me and this child go sit and we get in the truck. We shut the doors. And then I realized the windows are open. So I said to him, roll up your window, because the bears are still out here. And then as soon as I said that to him, I see the mama bear coming towards us. She's not running. She's not aggressive, nothing like that, but I've got this fear about, oh my gosh, bears big. And again, I love bears. But anyway, so far, this is what I understand about this dream. Like there are key elements. Okay. I'm in the house that I grew up in. So I'm in old thinking, old ways of being, old ways of doing that I grew up in, or I grew up with. And bears, I looked up like the dream symbology and like spirit animal meaning or whatever, and they can represent independence. So maybe the bears showing up had to do with me desiring to be independent from, like to break away from old mindsets that were keeping me trapped inside. At first I was kind of fixated on the fact that the bear was asking me for help. And I did have compassion. I did want to help in my heart space, but my head immediately jumped in and was like, with old stuff that I'd always been. Now it's a fact in real life, if you're out in the wilderness, in the forest or whatever, and you come across cubs, you do need to look for the mama because she'll rip you a new one, or worse. She's very protective of her cubs. It's a fact. But dreams are very symbolic. So, anyway, this is my journal, and I'm sharing my journal. So yeah, the thing about bears, it said they represent like courage, independence, I can't remember what else. I have it written down though. So my initial takeaway from this dream was that intuitively I understood what the bear needed, and lately what I've been trying to pay more attention to in my life is my intuition. I know from experience that every time I have followed my intuition, it has never been wrong. That is huge. That's like discovering your superpower. And you know, like when I left my ex, I felt intuitively in the core of my being that if I was going to start my life over again, I needed to go to Colorado. And 3 months later, that's exactly what I did. I had no idea when I made the decision. I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I had no idea where I was going to stay, how I was going to do this. I just, and like intuitively, I knew that's what I needed to do. And as soon as I made up my mind, then it was like one thing after another just fell into place. I told so-and-so about it. They were like, oh, you should come stay with us, you know, but it was more than that. There were so many things, and that's a story for another day. But anyway, what I'm saying is my intuition was right. That was exactly, I moved out there. I lived out there for 5 years, and it was exactly what I needed. I needed to get away. I needed time to heal and really learn to live with myself in a new way, in a way that I had not been able to. I never lived. I had always been very codependent, and yeah, I needed to break that habit. So anyway, yeah, the dream, I just felt like, okay, so another reminder that I need to listen to my intuition, that my brain jumped to, you know, oh, mother bears are dangerous. But this bear in the dream was not showing any signs of aggression. And animals are not, I don't know. I didn't feel any threat. That's the thing. I'm a very feeling person. Like, you can tell me all kinds of stuff you want to tell me, but I pick up on your vibes and I know when you're bullshitting me. So the same, you know, I feel the feels, I feel the vibes. And so I weigh that into consideration too in my everyday life. Like, just because you show me on a piece of paper, well, it says this, but I'm also going to go by how I feel about it, or if I feel like something is off. That weighs heavily on my decision making. So anyway, in the dream, you know, I didn't go, I was leaning more towards old storylines, stereotypical mama bears are this. So I don't know. I don't know if it's kind of like like a bit of advice about something that's coming my way. Am I going to meet somebody that I have never interacted with this kind of person before, and I know all these stereotypes about that type of person? You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I know the dream is significant. So yeah, being in the house that I grew up in speaks about old ways of thinking, being, doing. And I'm very much a person who I want to learn and grow. I have always been that way. And so yeah. So anyway, and then what else was I thinking? I think that's it. It just struck me about trust your intuition over the old stories. Things that maybe you never considered, you know, and that was part of it too. Like with the bear, part of my thinking was not only, ooh, mama bear, you know, that means danger. The other part was the thought that I don't want these bears to become dependent on me or to think that they can trust humans. They could trust me because I love animals, but you know, not everybody's like me or like that. You know, not everybody is going to treat a bear that way. The thing is, that was kind of a silly thought in that moment because this wasn't one incident is not going to create a habit, you know? Yeah. Because I think oftentimes if wild animals approach humans for help, they do show some kind of gratitude for the help and then they take off and get back to living their lives, you know? And I know I've seen videos online where animals will remember the human that helped them. And like if they see them sometime later, they will like come to the edge of their yard and kind of just hang out. Like in a way they're trying to convey, hey, thanks. I haven't forgotten what you did for me. So yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, those thoughts that held me back from helping the mama bear. And then at the end of the dream too, I looked out and saw that she had 4 cubs, not just 2. She had 4. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, you know, that's a lot for one mama bear to take care of. And usually in the wild, probably 2 of them would die. Like just in the process of trying to live and grow. It's a lot for one mama bear to take care of, for 4 of them at one time. So anyway, that's that. And I'm going to stop this because I can't remember the other thing that I was going to record. So